opportunity to welcome you back to this other session of ours. And actually today we are going to continue with the heterotrophic nutrition, where we say that this is the type of nutrition where organisms manufacture their own food. So today we are going to look at the human digestive system. I hope you've been looking at these systems since primary. So the human digestive system consists of one, the alimentary canal. Allow me hope that we know the parts of the alimentary canal, and when we talk about the alimentary canal, I want you to be knowing those specific and particular parts. Now when we talk about alimentary canal, we are going to look at the mouth, throat, the esophagus, the stomach, the small intestine. And in the small intestine here we see that these ones are divided into three. We have what we call the duodenum, the jejunum, and the ileum. Those three make up what we call the small intestine. Then when we come to large intestine, this one is made also by three parts. One is the colon, the cecum, and the appendix. Then we also have the rectum and the anus. As we say that digestion begins from the mouth and ends in the anus. You remember that. Then we have what we call accessory structures. And when they talk about accessory structures, these are structures that enables the digestive system or the digestive processes to occur smoothly. You get? That's what is called by the accessory structure. It's like an helper. Then accessory structures, here we have the teeth, the tongue, the salivary gland, the liver, the gallbladder, and the pancreas. So each of those ones play a very big role or an important role, as we are going to see. Then these are organs, glands, and tissues that enable digestive processes, again by circulating fluid, stock, or chemicals, but the food does not actually pass through them. You get that these structures, food cannot pass through them, but their role is by secreting fluids, for example the salivary glands, and the chemicals. You get? Then from there I want you to look at that man there. Are you seeing that man? I want you to look at that command there. I want you to look at that command there. I hope you are seeing those parts. You have the tongue and the anus down there. Then from there, here let us look at what we call the details of the stomachal region. So when we talk about the details of the stomachal region, now scientifically the stomachal region is divided into various parts, as we are going to see. One is the esophagus, the fundus, we have the cardia, the atrium gastrin, the pylorus. Now the pylorus is the so-called small stomach. I hear people talk about small stomach, so they mean that in pylorus, where food can be stored temporarily. And then we have lastly is the duodenum. So those are the parts which make up what we call the stomachal region. Now these parts in the stomachal region have got what we call the body, and here we have what we call the parietal cells. Now these parietal cells are the ones which are responsible for secreting the hydrochloric acid, as we are going to see. Then it also is the role of these parietal cells to secrete the intrinsic factor. You get? So in the stomach there is also what we call the chief cells. Now these chief cells are the ones which are responsible to secrete the other enzyme, which is called the pepsin. But now this enzyme is in its inactive form, which is the pepsinogen. Then it is activated by the act of the parietal cells by secreting that enzyme. By secreting the hydrochloric acid, which activates now the pepsinogen into pepsin. And then this pepsin now begin the process of digesting the proteins. I hope you remember that science. You get? Then from there you can go ahead and look at that structure, the structure of the gastric gland. Yeah, that is the structure of the gastric gland. Then in the gastric gland we have actually it is divided into major parts: the upper part, which is called the pit, and the lower part, which is called the gland. Now here we have the surface, and the upper part, which we call the pit. It has got what we call the surface, which we call the mucous cells. Then it has what we call the fibroblasts and the capillary, as you can see there. Then down here, or the gland region, you have what we call the isthmus. So this one has the producer cells. It has the mucous neck region and the parietal cells. I told you what the parietal cells do. Then under the base, we have what we call the APUD cells. Then the chief cells. I told you what the chief cells do. These ones produce what we call pepsinogen, or an inactive form of pepsin enzyme. So from there, yeah, let us look at what we call the general plane of the transverse section of the alimentary canal. Though you can see there, so by the way, you can pause this video a bit, you look at those structures properly. So here we look at the transverse section of the alimentary canal. Yeah, this one is divided into also 3 regions. We have what we call the selosa. Under the selosa region, that one is divided into what we call the muscularis externa, where we have that is called the serosa region. It can be called the muscularis externa, where we find the muscles majorly. Here we have what we call the longitudinal muscle, the sacral muscle. We also have that region called the submucosa region, or the mucosa region, where we find the muscularis mucosa, the lamina propria, the epithelium. You can look at the center here of that alimentary canal. We have the lumen. You can look at the gland in the submucosa down here. Yeah, we shall look at those ones as we continue. Then you can also look at what we call the structure of the 2 villi. Yeah, we looked at this O level, so I'll not spend much time on these structures because we have looked at them. Now you can go ahead and look at the vertical section through the alimentary canal. Yeah, please, I said you can pause a bit. You look at you look at these structures properly. Yeah, those are the structures. Now this one is the vertical section through the alimentary canal, the way you can see there. We shall look at those ones, so you can see them there. So I'll not spend much time on those structures. So I'm going to begin on the comparison of the histology of the gastrointestinal tract region. I will begin on those ones. So allow me to sign out. Please subscribe. After subscribing, you can comment. So you can leave your question in the comment section, and you can even forward it to your friends, and we enjoy the biology together. Allow me sign out. Yeah, okay, there's somebody who requested me to go for was it genetics, population genetics. Yeah, that person should inbox me on my WhatsApp. I therefore sign out.